Yeah, hi there, everybody. Hello, Mom and Dad, Bill, Chris, Tom, all my relatives, and even YouTubers. And in this particular video, I will talk about the treehouse I'm building for my son. And first of all, Angela, my wife, and I, for about, I'm going to say more than a decade, probably 12 or 13 years, we tried to have a baby, and it just didn't seem to work out. And finally, we were blessed by having Cade. And I was actually 42 years old when he was born, and we love our boy. So this helps you understand maybe why I would put together such a big project for my son. But then there's another story that goes along with it. A few years ago, we bought Cade a playhouse. I think he was about 3 or 4 years old. And at that point, we bought the playhouse, and then we brought it home, and then after a year or so it got kind of old and sun weathered, and in the move it got broken and it wasn't working quite right. So one day I went out with a sledgehammer and I tore it down. And it was just a small playhouse, one of the ones you see at Costco, right? So he was very upset, and I told him, I said, I'll make it up to you, buddy. I will build you a new playhouse. And that's exactly what I'm doing and what you will see in this video. So in the first picture, this is my neighbor. I have the best neighbor in the world. This guy, his name's Gary. And he helps me with just everything from landscaping to building to fixing things. He is really a mechanical genius. He understands how to fix pretty much anything. So this is him in the picture, and on this particular day you can see that I have these 16 by 16 platform here. It goes about 5.5 feet up the ladder, and on this day we built the 4 walls to Cade's house. You can see him pictured there. And even as we built the walls, I went to Lowe's and I bought some windows, and we started to install the windows. So we want this thing to be a legitimate, it's kind of like a tree house because it's built near trees, but we wanted it to be really like a full-fledged house. It'll have windows, it'll have walls, we'll have lights inside, but I'm not going to put electricity in it. We'll just use battery powered. But we want it to be, what I want to do at Cade is we're going to go out here and camp, and we'll sleep on the weekends, and we'll have fun, and he can invite his friends in. So in this particular video, you'll see we built the roof, and Gary showed me how to do the actual trusses, which was quite complicated. And here's a picture from the side. You can see the windows. We have 1, 2, then 3 windows are installed, and you can see the beginnings of a roof. Different angles. There's Gary on top nailing in some board, and wow, he did a really good job on this. Let me show you this. See this? This is what you call superboard. So when you have the eaves come out from the roof, I wanted the playhouse to look like a real house. So we installed this board, and then right after that we put on plywood. And there's the door. I ordered a pre-hung door from Lowe's, and it took about 2 weeks for it to show up, and then we installed it and put it into the house. You can see the roof from the top. And now this is a good picture where we actually have the plywood on, and we're putting the roofing paper on, and that's important. You can see all the staples there, and it helps keep the house doesn't leak. And this is called flashing. That helps secure the roofing paper to the roof. There's my truck. This is my backyard here. I live in the desert. And now we got to the point where, how you doing, little buddy? There's Cade. And we're starting to put the particle board up, which is we'll put on first before we put the exterior siding. Things happen pretty quickly. Okay, now let's go to another picture here. I have some more. These are more treehouse pics. Now in these pics, the things are happening pretty quickly here. So actually a lot of this was taken today, February 2nd. So what I did is the roofing paper, I also put it on top of the plywood and the particle board to further protect the inside of the house from weather, from rain and such. So it helps waterproof it. You can see the ladder that goes up to the playhouse. And you see it's built. The treehouse is actually supported by these railroad ties. Each railroad tie is about 9 feet tall, but it goes 3.5 feet into the ground, and I put about 80 pounds of cement in each of the holes. And then you see these 2x8s. The 2x8s they frame the entire platform, and underneath you'll see all these floor joists. There's a whole bunch of them. And then I blocked everything to make it super strong. So this platform has to hold thousands of pounds. And there's some more pictures. You can see this is the siding that we're going to put on. You can see the cedar boards there. I did all this today. And here's a picture where you can see that I put the stain. I put this amber type stain on the wood because I live in the desert. And it gets hot in the summer. We have a lot of wind, a lot of sand. You can see all this dirt here. So the stain helps protect the wood from the harmful rays of the sun and from the blowing sand and from the rain and all that. So we basically have two platforms. This is what you're looking at. You have a 8x8 platform here. Then we have a cable bridge. The cable bridge is maybe 15, 16 feet long. It's about 5 feet above the ground. And then I put these ropes on both sides of the cable bridge so anyone walking across the cable bridge can balance themselves by using the guiding ropes. Now the cable I used, I secured it to both platforms, and the cable can hold a max load of 840 pounds. So I think that should be good enough as long as we don't get like 30 people going over the cable bridge at the same time, which I don't think that will ever happen. So we have that, and see, I'm going to call it a treehouse. Technically, the treehouse is not supported by these trees, but I wanted it to have that. I wanted it to be in that environment. The treehouse is about 300 feet from our house. It's way, way in our backyard. We have 2.5 acres in the high desert in Oak Hills, so I have plenty of room to build and develop things. So, and I think you'll see in just a minute how far the treehouse is away. Here's another angle looking at the cable bridge, and this is the ladder that goes to the smaller platform. And this one again is 8x8, and as you can see there's 4 railroad ties holding this one up. And here's a view from the smaller platform. I kind of climbed up the ladder a little bit, and then I took a picture so you could see one side of the treehouse. And this is a picture of the 8x8 platform, so you can see what that looks like. You can see my yard here. There's a lot of dirt. Here's another view of the platform looking at going through to the treehouse. And in this picture you can see both platforms. You can kind of see what I did is I wanted the smaller platform to be on one side of the trees, and then the larger platform be on the other, and then the cable bridge there kind of goes through the trees. So you have that kind of treehouse feeling. So you feel like you're out there. As you can see, here's my back gate right there. So this is almost at the back of my property. And here's another look at the cable bridge from the smaller platform. Again, you can see that I put that stain. I even put the stain on the cable bridge. Now this is a view, the next few pictures you will see kind of the view that we have from the treehouse. And in this case, I'm actually on the roof of the treehouse looking down at the smaller platform here. And this is this street here is a dirt road. It's called Farmington. And just down a little bit on the right, there's a neighbor that just moved in. Really nice guy. He waves to me as he drives to and fro. And here I went back onto the roof to do some repair. We had a windstorm about a week ago, and it tore a lot of the black paper off. So we're not quite ready to put the roof on, at least the shingles yet. Now, I haven't exactly decided on what I want to do. Right now I'm deciding between cedar shake shingles or some type of metal sheeting. So I'm feeling like I'll probably go more toward putting the having like a tin roof, maybe put the metal sheeting on there. It's a lot less expensive. If I do the cedar shake shingles, that's going to cost me probably $500, maybe even more. Okay, here's another pic. How about that? That's another view from the roof, and these are mountains over here. I'm looking toward Lake Arrowhead, Big Bear. That's where all these mountains are. So some of these peaks go up to 10,000 feet. And where you see some of the grass in the yard, that's Howard's property here. Where you see where there's just dirt, I like to drag my property, so I don't like to have any grass at all back here. It just turns into weeds anyway. So, and here's another view from the treehouse looking out. You see I built this. I put some rocks back here to just kind of look like a back entrance into my property. And look at the view here. We got the snow-capped San Gabriel Mountains, and where is it? That's Baldy. That's Mount Baldy right there. My dad and I, over the summer, we climbed up that peak along with William and Tyler. That was really fun. Now here's a view from the roof of the tree house, and you can see our house here. And you can see the solar panels up there. We have a swimming pool in there. But this is our property, all of this area. So we have some native, pretty cool. This is a Joshua tree. It's an endangered, protected tree here in the high desert. There's another Joshua tree there. And I have about 40 of these desert juniper trees. And there's another view of Howard's property here. And then you can see some of the view of my neighborhood. And here is I'm basically just putting roofing paper up there to repair some of the damage with a staple gun there. Now this is the actual siding. This is what the exterior is going to look like. It's cedar boards. People use these to build fences, and I'm using it for siding on the house. And there's Gary. You'll see some other pictures here. And this is kind of what it looks like. We almost completed one side of the house with the cedar boards. That's what it looks like. We still have to do this area here where you still see the roofing paper. But I think it looks good. So the next step here is to stain it. We have to protect that wood from the sun, so I will stain it probably in the next week or so it's protected. We're almost there. Now once we get the outside done, we're not done. I mean, we still have to do a lot of work inside. When you open the door inside, it's just a bunch of studs. So I want to put a floor in, I want to put walls and also a ceiling, and I'm thinking of also using boards, give it that treehouse feeling. And there it is, and that's pretty much what the project looks like. So far, I've been working on this project since about July of 2015, so I've been working on it, I don't know, 6 or 7 months. And sometimes I'll work on it on a Friday for 2 or 3 hours, then maybe on a Saturday for 8 or 10 hours. So it takes a lot of time, obviously, to build a project, to build a structure like this, especially, I'm an English professor, and I'm also a composition teacher for the ESL program, and I'm a TOEFL preparation teacher. So obviously I have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time to build something like this. So I just work on it when I can. It's just a project that I've been doing, and it's fun. I like it.